Welcome to the monthly collective contest where you can hone your filmmaking skills, experiment with different content formats, and also learn from the best. And did I mention, you can win prizes, like $10,000 worth of prizes. Hi, my name is Sara Dietschy. I make YouTube videos about tech and creativity, and welcome to episode 1 of this new collective contest series. Every month, we partner with your favorite filmmakers to bring new challenges, and I'm so excited to announce this month's new resident pro, Ani Acopian. Thank you for being with us here today. I think with all these new residents, we have so much we can learn from each of them, and you're a special one, because we're not only friends, but I love what you do. Tell the world a little bit about the videos you produce, but also where are you based? Who are you? Who is Ani?
My name's Ani. Friend of yours. I'm a video director and content creator. I live in LA. Been here for about a year now.
You're new, because we met in New York City.
We did.
And now you're making the things on the West Coast.
On the West Coast. I think I'm meant to be here though.
Tell me a little bit about your format of things, because it's not the traditional filmmaker, I'm gonna screen my movies 16:9 resolution.
Definitely.
It's definitely unique, and I think you've taken advantage of the day we live in, you know, in 2019.
I focus mostly on short form videos, mostly like 4:5 ratio. So it's more of a vertical ratio. It's something that's like easily digestible on a phone. I basically, for the past like 2 years, have been creating primarily for Instagram for other brands and musicians. It's been awesome. It's been super fun to like see the times change. I feel like every month it's just like something different.
You won Jiffy Film Festival.
Giphy.
Oh man, are we about to fight about this?
No, okay, let's just move on. It's fine.
Okay. Giphy. So Giphy Film Festival. See, now I'm like, is it GIF or GIF? Giphy Film Festival.
Someone gift that right there.
Oh, that is a great
Yeah,
GIF.
a
Yeah,
one.
see,
All
now you
right.
have me saying GIF. Gosh, Ani, but Giphy Film Festival, you won.
I did.
Tell me a little bit about Giphy Film Festival, because this, you know, we're talking about kind of like a film festival type thing here with a collective.
Correct.
With a contest. So tell me a little bit about that, and tell me a little bit about your video that you submitted and ultimately won. I'm so proud of you.
So with every contest, I'm always like, oh, I'm never gonna win that. Why would I enter? There's thousands of people entering. So somehow my friend convinced me to apply to this. I just kind of sent my application on a whim, and I find out like a few weeks later that I won. It was the first Giphy Film Festival, also the first ever film festival of GIFs. The whole thing took an hour, and there's 250 short videos screened, I think under 18 seconds each. It was really cool though, because a lot of them were super well done, like animated, all of this stuff.
So tell me a little bit about the video.
Basically, like Cody and I took a trip for fun, which I think are the best kinds of trips, just for making things. We were wearing these yellow suits the whole time because you gotta always be camera ready.
I don't know if this was intentional, but the yellow jacket against the black sand beaches in Iceland, it just popped so hard that was a great stylistic choice. I don't know if that was intentional, but people are gonna have to go and watch the clip. I'll pop it up. So you're not just someone who's taking wide video and compressing it down to vertical, but you're really catering to the platform, right? You're creating native content that makes it's very immersive, because people are scrolling through vertical pictures. So when you see a vertical video and it's engaging, that's fun. People stay and watch. How do you deal with the fact that a lot of people don't listen to Instagram video or Facebook video? There's a crazy statistic, you know, that's like, 80% of people don't actually click into the audio. I'm sure it's different on Instagram. What are some of the ways that you make the video compelling enough?
Whatever you do, you're gonna have people that aren't listening with sound, and that's fine. But I think mostly all the stuff I make, I try to have like pay attention to sound, so that someone that's familiar with the work would probably want to turn the sound on. So I think it's just establishing like that you care about sound, right? So if you're like,
and it's a differentiator, because a
if
lot
it's
of
a
people don't
differentiator,
pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So when you do click on it, you're like, oh, and it's really well done, that puts you above everything else.
Yeah, my background is actually like, I started with like parody music videos, And so sound,
We have that in
yeah,
common.
so like just like, you know, like for class, you would
Yeah.
do a funny video. Sound was like the driving thing in that. And I think I still rely on sound a lot to like make something feel a certain way. And I think like you shouldn't like lose that even if some people aren't listening.
I feel like a lot of people have that background. I had a economics video that I made junior high school that went like semi-viral for me at
Okay.
the time, like 60,000 views.
Okay, that's like pretty, I mean, yeah.
And it was so embarrassing because I was a junior in high school, you know, we were rapping about economics.
I have one too, actually. It's,
What subject?
well, it was for geometry. It was called My Arc. It was to the
Was
Black
it
Eyed
to-
Peas song.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
Okay.
My arc, my
Yeah.
arc. Okay, I love it. I'm vibing with it already. And how has music played a role? Because you said you do a lot of content for musicians, right?
Yeah, so just, I guess I've been a musician on the side. Like oh my
Honey,
God.
I did
No,
not know
don't do
this. Hold
Don't
on.
do this. Don't do this.
So what did you play, sing? Did you sing?
I did a lot. I mean, drums, piano, guitar, rapping.
Amazing.
And I was beatboxing for you earlier, yes.
Which,
Correct.
stay till the end of this video and maybe Ani will beatbox for us, okay? But I think music can play a big part in
Yeah.
people's creative journey, right?
For sure.
My first moment with video when it clicked is when I went to Greece and I was like taking all this cool video, but then I found a song to put the montage to. And it like, I just felt it. I
Yeah.
was like, this song matches what I felt in Greece. And that's when video really clicked for me, right? What are some other elements that you use in your videos that you think kind of elevate it beyond just, you know, you have aspect ratio. That's a very boring one, but it's so
got
important,
aspect
right?
ratio.
We got aspect
We got
ratio. We got sound.
sound.
Can we get into the gear?
You know that everyone's gonna just say it doesn't matter what your gear is. And it doesn't, because I actually started shooting on my iPhone for Snap. I was actually a Snapchat, well, I like started on Snapchat, like professionally. That was the beginning of my
yeah.
career.
Vertical video. I mean, it's
Vertical
huge.
video,
It's
correct.
everywhere.
And then
And
it just-
Snapchat
yeah.
really started that trend. And then you saw Instagram take over with vertical video. And it's like not a joke anymore. People are making professional livings on these platforms.
It's pretty interesting because what I do and what a lot of other, I guess, content creators do is kind of in competition with like traditional agencies at this point. Like it's gotten to the point where
You are your own agency, really. Like,
it's true.
yeah.
I do. Yeah. Like I have a little company, but also I spent some time in-house at a few agencies and like learned so much there before I went off on my own. And I would highly recommend that to like anyone who's interested in anything in the advertising
going
field. I mean.
and seeing how it's done.
I
And
got to build like pitch decks and sit in client meetings with, 20 people with execs from like big brands and see how people were talking. And that's like the meat of the business, I guess, which is not the fun part, but it's a part.
and you have to know how to navigate so much more than just filming, right? There
That's
is so much
That's
more.
the ironic part. It's like I actually think I was probably shooting way more before I started doing it professionally than now, because now it's like you have so many other things to think about in order to keep shooting professionally. Like I would say it's like 70% business maintenance and 30% like creative output. But I love it, and I'm still working on a way to get those numbers to be more even.
Well,
So to
because
get-
a lot of times it shifts in the beginning, but then
Correct,
once you
yeah.
have a steady flow, it's okay, how can I bring in other freelancers to help me?
For sure,
And then you
that's-
can get back to where you started creatively, right? And I think, especially for this audience with Collective, it's all about just creating and like taking advantage of where they are in their life. Yes, they're filmmakers, but at the same time, they're probably looking to hone their craft, look at different mediums, figure out how can I make myself better as a filmmaker, right? I think going into this contest that we're going to talk about later, there's just no borders on what you can do.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the traditional 20-minute short doc, 50-minute short doc, hour and a half film.
Yeah,
right?
that's like why I got into this and kind of why I still do this. It's that you don't need a script or all of these people. You don't need all of like access to anything really. You can just have like a camera, an iPhone, whatever, go out there, a drone, and make something. And through that process, it ends up like you just refine it, and it ends up looking like the things that are really highly produced.
So you did a lot of this stuff for fun, right, in school, but you get out of school. What was one of your first gigs?
So when I graduated school, I took a full-time job, but simultaneously, it was also the same time when I got my first like freelance outreach email.
Classic.
I love that. No, it wasn't classic at the time. It was really awesome. And it was from a sports media company asking me to do a Snapchat story for the Olympics. And they were like, what's your rate? And I was like,
isn't that
what's
scary?
my rate? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think I just didn't say anything. And then they came back and they gave me a number. And it was way more than I earned. It was like what I earned in a week at my job for like doing one day of storytelling, you know? Yeah. And I was just like, what, like, how do I do more of this? Like, how do I make this happen? And the next, I would say like year was spent like figuring out how to get more of those kinds of jobs, but also like do good work for those kinds of jobs. Cause it wasn't like every day I was like getting an email at that point. It was like very early stages, and Snapchat was like weird in general to do paid work for.
So do you think that was one of the reasons why you stood out? Because you were making premium content for a platform that wasn't exactly premium?
I don't know.
Because I think a lot of people who maybe, you know, they're filmmakers, maybe they've gone the traditional route, but they see content creators, video producers out there making stuff for this new digital age. A lot of their first question is like, how do I get that first job? How do I stand out to that person who wants that content to be made? I know we don't like the word content, but it's kind of like it describes the craziness that has become video.
Yeah, necessary evil.
Exactly, because there's so many different kinds of video to be made, and I feel like it's so important. It's especially in the beginning to really build up that portfolio of videos, photos, whatever you make that you're proud of, right? That a company can look at, and so it's not about creating everything in the beginning. Maybe once you have an audience, if that's your goal.
Totally.
But you know, if I go to your Instagram, I click on every single video or every single picture, whoa, there's something to it, right?
Nice.
And that goes for if a company's looking at your Instagram. Right. So I think that's really important to think about when you're creating, especially in the beginning when you're trying to work for companies or collaborate with a certain person.
Like for me, I felt like I had a really good body of work, and I was like waiting around like, hey guys, you know? Yeah. But it took a lot more time and more work than I thought. So I would say like, don't stop when you think you're done. Right. Like you're not done.
I think that's so good to touch on the whole body of work thing, because the whole point of Collective is not to just get better as a filmmaker, to not just win prizes, but it's also a good opportunity for every single month you're making something brand new. You're making something that hasn't existed before. So you're essentially building up your portfolio, right? So you're gonna come out of this year with 12 really good pieces of work that you didn't have before. And I think that is so important, right? To keep pushing and having patience while you're grinding out the videos, which I think you touched on great. Being in LA, there's a ton of filmmakers, a ton of creatives here, right? A lot of people want to do creative work for their jobs. So it's a very competitive field, right? But at the same time, it's very collaborative. So how do you balance those two things?
Yeah, that is like interesting,
right? It is, yeah.
It's like, it's only a certain amount of spots, but you need a lot of people to do them.
Right.
The whole way I got into this was through one of my best friends, Jeremy, who was on Instagram, and when it started, he encouraged me to like shoot, and he would take me to these Insta meets, and through that I met just like photographers and filmmakers and all sorts of creative people, and that was like really a good sense of community. And through that I kind of like started to build people like you, like people that are doing other sorts of things that are maybe not exactly the same as what I'm doing, but who can complement each other well in different ways. Your network is like very important. So I would say, no, it's not really a competition. If anything, it's a competition with myself. Like I'm always in a competition with myself about if I can outperform my last thing, if I can do better. It doesn't have anything to do with anyone else. If anything, I really want to just like make more friends, you know?
Yeah, I love it.
It's helpful for getting jobs, for doing jobs, for all of the things.
Yeah. And it's cool that we live in this internet age where maybe you meet someone only once IRL, but then you follow them on Twitter, you follow them on Instagram.
I think we met how many times in real life? Maybe like 3. Yeah. But over the past like 3 years.
And I would consider you a homie.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I would like I know Sara well.
Exactly.
Know?
I think having a creative community is so important. And even if you are in you're not in a New York, you're not in an LA. There are places where you can go on the internet, Collective being one of them, to share ideas, share work. And I think there's a lot of power in a community.
Me too. I think it's the most important thing, actually,
I know this is a big question, but do you have one person that has been your biggest inspiration throughout all this?
A few. I grew up watching Spike Jonze and Michel Gondry's music videos. OK Go music videos.
So good. Those were one of the first things that went viral on YouTube.
Yeah,
were
exactly.
Those music videos.
Those were like my OG, like founding inspirations. Beyond that, I'm really inspired by musicians, specifically female rappers like Princess Nokia, Nicki Minaj, just all the girl rappers.
Which Nicki Minaj has posted one of your videos before, right?
She has, correct.
Wow, that was pretty wild. I remember seeing that happen.
We follow each other.
Wow, oh my gosh.
I'm trying to go on tour with her, so if anyone knows anyone,
send it out to the universe. And, it's so cool because I feel like you're just beginning right now, and then in 20 years you're going to be the person that so many people are going to be looking up to, and so it's always going to happen. And I think that's why it's so cool to have the platforms we have now, because it is very transparent. I feel like hey guys, this is what I've done, this is what I'm doing, this is how I do it, come along on the journey.
It's interesting, right? It's like everyone's kind of with you as you're like learning and failing and succeeding and all of those things.
But with that said, let's get into the gear. You mentioned iPhone, because iPhone's great. I still use my phone for a lot of things. But there comes a time where you need the tools to make certain stuff happen. So take me through what you use.
If I'm going to shoot, I'll take my iPhone, my A7 III, and some lenses. Also A7.
Favorite lens?
35 millimeter, 1.4.
So good.
Great lens. Definitely take my drone. I just got the Mavic Pro 2 and a stabilizer, usually the Ronin S.
Awesome. And then beyond your shooting gear, what do you use to edit? Do you have like a desktop, or are you on the go with a laptop?
I'm like honestly I'm just always on the go. I'm
always
just a digital nomad.
Yeah, you're so Cosmo.
Yeah. So I have a MacBook Pro from, I don't know, like it's the new MacBook Pro. It's all like decked out. That's literally all I use. I have a stand for it at home. I'll plug it into my speakers and all my hard drives and just get going. And when I'm on the road, like I'll just put it in my bag and go. So
cool.
It's pretty simple.
Very mobile workflow. So having this conversation about gear, I think people can really get creative with your contest, whether it's using drones, gimbals, whatever they have, their phones. With this contest,
Tell them what it is.
With this contest, the Flat Lay Challenge.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about it.
So Flat Lay video challenge. It's a video challenge, not a photo challenge. Your traditional flat lay, you see, a lot of people do gear grid flat lays where they'll put like camera, tripod, LaCie, all these different things, and kind of show off their stuff in a nice symmetrical way. Okay, that seems like very Instagram 2013 to me. So I want to bring it into 2019, make it video centric. But the challenge is that I don't really want it to be filmed directly above like the traditional way. I want you to do something different. For my announcement video, I'm basically laying out with all of my gear around me and droning up. You don't need to have a drone for it. You can get creative in other ways. You can use stairs. You can shoot on a wall and use and back up from the wall so that it looks like it's further out.
How can you use editing? Reverse.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just I kind of just want to see some creative things, and I love gear, so I'm doing mine around my gear. But it's not limited. I don't want it to be limiting to people who only have crazy gear. There's no special points for expensive gear. It's just
that just means you have to be more creative.
You just have to be more creative.
Room to get those innovation points.
Yeah. So speaking of, the 4 judging criteria are 25% innovation, aka creativity, aka let's do something cool, 25% cinematography framing, 25% editing, and 25% sound. Wow. Okay, that was premature.
That was amazing.
Stop.
So everyone needs to beatbox their own soundtrack, obviously.
No.
But it's super exciting. Like I'm starting to imagine what people can do with it, and I think I believe in this community.
Yeah,
They're gonna
I don't
get
really
creative.
know. Like my mind immediately just goes to a drone shot.
Right.
But
there's a lot of things you can do, with what you
like
said,
the
like on the wall
thing,
and editing.
weird angles.
Yeah.
You can do a stop motion.
And let's talk about deadlines too, because people need to know. So March 25th is when this contest opens, and you have to submit before April 22nd, and then you figure out who the winners are April 26th. So I'm very excited about this. Any words of wisdom to the collective squad out there? Any advice you have for them as they venture into this unknown flat lay challenge?
Try to think of what you've seen and then don't do it.
That's good. Okay guys, make sure to also post it to Instagram after you finish it. Tag Ani, hashtag flat lay challenge, also tag collective. I am so excited to see what you guys can come up with. And remember, this has to be created from now up until the end point. So don't resurface that back catalog content.
Yeah.
You got to get creative now, guys. So make sure to join at collective.LaCie.com. Sign up for the contest. It's free. It's a cool community of filmmakers just trying to get better together, and also prizes.
It's pretty epic. We've
Yeah,
got
it's cool.
some pretty crazy prizes. They gave us 10K to give away, and they let me choose my favorite gear that I get to give to 3 people who are going to be amazing, and I'm just like so honored to be able to do that.
Oh, that's so exciting. And hang around this YouTube channel. We're posting stuff every single month, maybe weekly, definitely monthly. You can come back every single month for new residents. Ani, thank you for being with me.
Thank you.
And guys, get creating. Come on.
Woo.
Go. What are you doing? Go now. Get off the computer.